Hi, this is Damon Williamson with the agency Dallas, and you are listening to The Red Mic. Okay, first of all, before we even get started, my topics are gone. Trey has...
They sure are.
Trey has apparently some unknown plan there.
Well, I think we should first acknowledge what a big star you are and how you really went viral this past week.
What a star.
I mean, it's like nothing normal. It's like my daily thing. I just walk out and always star. Yeah. I mean, I'm like the star of the show everywhere I go. So
I called Megan this morning. I was like, this is the greatest PR and marketing scam I've ever seen. We're 5 episodes in, and somehow you're on Glam Magazine.
You wouldn't call it a scam, Trey.
I mean, like, what in the world? And now you're tied to this big scandal that's unfolding over the next few months.
Well, first and foremost, I will say one thing. I did not dig that story out.
No, you did not. That was handed to you on a red platter.
I gave him a little tiny nudge, and he was like, I'm going with it.
He took it.
I'm going to take this all over the place.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that whole thing was great. Honestly, for our podcast here, is like hitting the ground running now. And I've got, like just all kinds of things online that I'm seeing, and people are like, what is this Red Mic? What I posted on Facebook, and people are like commenting saying, I saw something on this online, and I'm like, this is amazing.
It really is. But it was. You didn't pull it out. He just gave it to you, but you were good there. That was a big moment. I have a random question for you too. This is like a TikTok question. Ali's gonna get this.
I knew he was gonna do this.
Do you, or how often do you think about the Roman Empire?
Do not. I still don't. Okay, I'm going to let Cameron answer this.
Like, what's this from?
Like, do you ever think about the Roman Empire?
No. Well, I mean...
What?
Have I ever thought about it on a level that is serious? No. But do you think about, like, the things that you hear about how the Roman Empire was and how it was completely... advanced in its way that it was put together, and they had like the most advanced plumbing systems and had currency that was created specifically for Rome. So I mean, you think about it sometimes, it just would come up.
I think you think about it a lot more than most people.
Yeah, you definitely think about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
How often do you think about it, Cam?
I don't.
Oh, interesting.
No.
That was a much deeper answer than I thought I was going to get, honestly.
Because there was a lot to it. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh my gosh.
But it is not a daily, it's not a monthly. It may be 3 times a year kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, plus, like the things that my sons are going through with school right now, they'll be talking about like history and stuff. And I'll like say, the Romans, they knew what they were doing. That was still the question in my world. Like, I'm always like, how did they not make it successful and continue? But it was basically what Julius Caesar got stabbed by his...
I was going to say, what was the downfall of the Roman Empire?
I've done no research of the Roman Empire.
Well, I mean, this is just such a bizarre topic that we're on right now. But I will tell you that the Julius Caesar situation was stabbed to death on the Senate floor. That's like killing the president by senators. Mm-hmm. And then the guy that took over was Brutus, which is his best friend. Brutus then made a coin that had him on it that said the Ides of March, which was basically the day that they killed Caesar. And he made a coin like saying like, look what I did. And he was on it. So then people hated that. So then it was like, the corruption continued. And I think that was the ultimate downfall.
Like definitely more than 3 times a year.
Definitely 3 times a year. Yeah. That's a solid answer. All right, so I feel like we'd be remiss to
I think that topic's covered. Let's move on.
Yeah, we'd be remiss to not talk about this office romance that you two have.
Oh, Brandon?
Yes.
I said Brandon. I like him so much that I know his name is Brandon.
I know. Y'all are like the besties for the resties.
Well,
I want to hear about y'all's
we have a lot in
relationship.
common, actually.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
He's got really high blood pressure like me. And
it was actually funny because one day I was getting ready to go to the gym in the morning. We work out every day.
Every day?
In the 4 days a week. 4 days a week.
4 days a week.
At the office.
Yeah.
We have weights in one of the offices here. And we just...
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We just curl in front of each other. Now there's actually a pretty good gym at the office. It's downstairs.
I was getting ready to go to the gym one morning, and my wife smelled that I put on cologne. And she was like, hey, why are you putting on cologne to go to the gym? And I was like, well, I mean, I just want to smell good.
I don't
like.
She was
like, well, women know. I was like, I promise you, I'm just going to work out. I was like, I will send you a picture of Damon at the gym.
Oh my God.
And, it was kind of funny, but yeah. So
would it just smell good for Damon?
no.
Cameron was one of the first agents that came over to us, number one. And when he came over, I immediately knew that I was going to like him,
No.
which is just something that happens sometimes in life. You're not going to be like, I like him. I told Megan, I was like, I want to get him over. And then she's like, no, I 100% agree, because Cameron is really one of the most genuine people that you would meet. And I'm not even talking about his 6'4" stature of like the security office here. But no, seriously, that was like one of the things that we immediately knew about Cameron. Was like super nice guy, very genuine. He can talk to anybody in the office. Everybody will say the same thing about him. He's got that presence. I appreciate that. Yeah. So I do love him.
So Cameron, what was your real estate history before the agency, and how did y'all connect in that way?
So I got my license back in like 2020. Me and my wife started flipping homes in 2018. Before that, I was in-home personal trainer. I have my own business, but I kind of had the idea that I was done with that. I was just so over waking up in the mornings and working at 7:30 or 8 at night, blah, blah, blah. But
So weird.
anyways, so we started flipping homes in 18, and I was like, okay, I want to get my license. So I got my license in 20 when everything slowed down with the pandemic. And I started out with another brokerage, and I bounced. I did bounce a couple times, but I told my wife when I was with my previous brokerage, if there was any brokerage that I feel like I would move from where I was currently at, I said it was going to be the agency. And sure enough, it was just a plus that it was being run by you and Megan.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Oh,
I came over and interviewed. I mean, we just kind of hit it off right at the beginning, and I waited for 2 weeks until they were like, yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, we were still kind of like,
it was
infrastructure. Let's get everything like in the back end set up to where like somebody's not coming over and immediately being like, how do I write a contract on your website? And I'm like, oh yeah. Okay. So we had to get all that stuff ready before we started onboarding anybody, really. Ali actually had a similar story to this, where I can say that background, like KW is where you were originally with,
Yep.
tell me that
Ben Kinney team.
And we actually stalked Ali. Yeah. We were like, Ali originally said no. I don't think Ali could see the vision, because we were meeting her in a conference room and not really showing her anything that we had at that point. I know that she was like very interested in the idea of what it was.
Yeah.
But that was the toughest thing when this started. Was like, you don't have your office done. You don't have anything to really show anybody. We've got some marketing stuff to show you. We've got some ideas in our head that we're trying to portray to an agent that's coming in for the first time, but like, it's tough. Like, it's a lot easier now because everybody kind of sees the whole thing and sees the vision. But before, like, she's like, well, I like what I'm hearing, but I don't know if well, you can say it. I mean, I'm just repeating what you said.
Yeah, I loved your marketing stuff that you guys showed me, and I loved you, and I loved Megan, and it was a great just overall like first impression, even in the conference room. But at that time, I was just kind of like, I wanted to be part of something that felt established.
Yeah.
And
I get it. I would be the same way, honestly. Like if I was coming over to an agency or an office that was trying to recruit me, and I'm like, is it going to be as good as they say?
Yeah. But you know what? I think the biggest difference is that I sat there and I'm like, oh man, I do want to be a part of this, but it just wasn't up and running yet. And then a lot of people make a lot of promises and say a lot of things in the real estate world. And what I was able to see is, a month or two later, that you guys were fulfilling on every single thing you presented to me in that very first meeting. And that's why I was like, oh my gosh, now it's established and that quick. And what they said became true, and it made it easy to kind of jump ship and come back over here.
Thankful you came, Ali.
Yeah.
When do you feel like there was that switch of like, I have to convince people to come to my office versus like, now I'm going to be a little more selective of who I let in?
Well, we were selective to begin with, as far as just who we were reaching out to, because we do have like the minimum criteria that we want.
Yeah.
And we all know what that is, and we all talked about it. But I think probably sometime around April-ish, when we actually did move into the office, even though a lot of the furniture still wasn't here, but we had some stuff. We were like, yeah, it's going to be good. It's all on back order forever, but it's all going to be good. So, like literally, I think, what did we finish the office like a month ago? Like we got this launch, this official launch coming in September. So we have to have the office done. So we're like, all the vendors that had all the stuff being ordered, and we're still like, okay, well, it has to come by this day.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, we'll get it. And of course they did, thankfully. But it was kind of tough at first because, who we reach out to and who we really want to join. and who reaches out to us at that early stage is kind of like a different, I think, criteria of what we wanted. Because, nobody really knows. I think everybody knows the idea of the agency, but they don't really know like the idea of the agency on the back end of who we really want to come over as far as like a level of tenure in the business and a threshold volume and like has sales and that kind of stuff. But people like the glitz and glam. My wife Megan does an amazing job making us look glitz and glam. But when you're talking about attracting, the bright shiny thing, people are going to come and I can't take you. You just got your license. So keeping that kind of exact same thing continuously has been tougher for me to. I hate saying no to people because you meet a lot of good agents that are like, you can see a year from now they may be great. 24 months from now they may be at this and that. So it's been tougher to say no because I do want to be like, sure, come on over, but honestly there's not enough room. We're not going to turn into that machine of a brokerage where we just hire and hire and hire. And I think my wife would probably divorce me if we did that. She'd be like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Some days this office feels packed.
I know. Lately, especially.
Like, we need another floor.
I know. No, seriously. And we are encouraging that. I mean, we want everybody to come up here. And every time people are coming up here, everybody's having a good time. Like yesterday we were up here for 5 hours, 6 hours, and we had probably about 15 to 20 agents come and go yesterday. It was a very fun day. But that's what the vibe. That's the vibe that we want.
And it's just good people.
Yeah.
You come in and everybody's getting along, collaborating, talking to each other. It feels good. That's why people want to come up.
Yeah. Well, and Kira and Ali, you're both here a lot. Why do you come to the office? Is it for the camaraderie? Is it
100%? Yeah, because I didn't have that at my previous program.
Oh, there's very few that do, really.
There is no office environment.
Yep.
At least where I was at before. So I love going up here, hanging out, seeing everybody. Like, it's just fun. It's fun to be up here, and it's motivating too, because a lot of people are up here crushing it, doing a lot of deals, and it's super collaborative. Yeah, which I know is, the big thing with the agency, but it's true. Like, it is extremely collaborative.
Well, and energy is contagious, right? So you come up here and you could be in a bad mood, or you could be worried about, a deal that you've got going on, and you come in here and the energy is always positive.
Yeah.
And you've got people to talk about or talk to, and then to talk about whatever you've got going on and to give you ideas and brainstorm with you, how to make it better for your client or better for you. So I don't know. It's a good feeling. You want to come up here.
It is. It's a family atmosphere.
Yeah.
It really is a family atmosphere.
I think surrounding yourself with good people or successful people, you're naturally going to be successful, and that's gonna you're gonna sponge that a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing about it is, the way that we also chat outside of the office, I love too, because everybody's like so involved in the workplace chatter. Everybody's constantly posting things on there, and like we had that same platform at a previous brokerage.
We also have 85 group text messages.
Oh my gosh, I know.
It really is.
Wait, Cameron, why do we have 85 group messages?
Yeah.
Because David's a new one.
One every day. So
Just always thinking about my agents. Always trying to keep everybody informed.
This guy.
But I like the just today I was like going through stuff. I'm like, man, I haven't seen 6 posts, in the last 24 hours. I'm going through and commenting on everything. But like all this stuff is like exactly what we want. We want everybody being involved all the time. We want everybody feeling like they do have a role to play, and that role is growth with this brokerage together. Like it is this togetherness. It's not Damon Megan show. It's like everybody here is all part of it, and I think everybody takes it that way too. They're like, we're also growing.
And what's amazing is you pick up your phone.
Oh yeah.
I came from a collaborative
Except when Trey calls, I'm like, God, Trey again.
Except for a few select people at Trey, But I feel like that's so nice to be able to know when I need to talk to someone with the amount of experience that you have, that I can call and you're going to pick up the call.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, every agent that's come on over here, we've asked you to come. So
yeah,
it's not a situation where like, I'll walk into the office and 10 new agents that I've never met before are being onboarded. And that is the case in a lot of brokerages right now. And it's tough because if we were to come in here tomorrow and just start hiring agents, we'd have a problem with the current agents that are, we'd have a problem with the current agents thinking like this wasn't the plan, so we're not straying from that. So that is like rule number 11. You know,
Yeah.
we all know that there's 10 rules, but this is rule number 11.
So do you feel now like you're like the leader of like this exclusive club in Dallas? Because
Well, I called
lot
it a
of
cult a
agents-
few times, but
Yeah, well, like I feel a lot of agents will, like other agents will bring up the agency, and it's almost like they say it in like a how do I get in there kind of way. Like it's like a secret exclusive club that like
you got to teach
people
them
try
a
to
handshake, Trey.
figure out. Well, no, it's a secret. But like, do you feel like at this point it's established itself in Dallas as a top player in the game?
I would 100% say yes, because you can see it and feel it online with people that are not affiliated with us in any way, shape, or form. And we're getting likes and comments that are now in the hundreds. Like, I remember when we first started and we started posting, we'd get like the 10 likes of the people watching. I'm like, oh, we need some more traction. But then, of course, like now we're like, the last post that we did, I think on the Rustic is now like 500 or 600 likes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like that kind of stuff where you're like, these
People
this
are watching, they're
This is
interested.
rolling now, like everything's kind of out there and people really get it. And I think Megan's grown the Instagram to thousands of followers now. Like I think we're close to 5,000. And like we've been open. I mean, we're getting, like, if you really broke it down of like how many people are liking and finding out about this agency on a localized level, we've not paid for likes. We've not paid for followers. That is like her immediate rule was like, I'm not playing that game. I'm going to do this and I'm going to grow it the way that I want to grow it. And I want to grow it organically. And it is 100% been successful that way.
Yeah.
So
And it's real.
it is real.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing too. I think that's why so many people are like, oh, what's going on? The agency, because a lot of people can say that they're this, big fancy brokerage and they
Right.
do all these things and attract the right people. But you guys back it with like the real deal agents and real marketing and genuine, everything is genuine about it.
And that's what we're going for. We want to keep it real.
Okay. Real.
Fun, because like this is the only place that I've ever gone to where we have a monthly meeting, and I look forward to it.
Yeah, we all do.
Me too.
I'm excited about it next week, guys.
I plan my outfits for it. Like,
And Megan tries to make them fun, but we also try to make it informative. And I think that's the reason why it's like, we're not just standing up there talking about clerical crap. It's a waste of time. Thanks for coming in, guys. Make sure you get your paperwork in on time. Literally how my old broker's was. But yeah, I mean, for everything that we're doing, we're going to continue the role. We're going to get where we want to get, and we're not going to deviate from the plan, and that's final.
Oh,
Ali, tell me about your
serious.
horse.
Oh, okay. That took a turn. Talking about horses now? Are we really?
Yeah.
Transition to the horse.
Well, she has a beautiful name. Her name is Ali.
wait,
Yeah.
did you name
Really?
her?
So no, she came with the
Okay.
name. So honestly,
So nice. I used it twice. That name.
But
Yeah.
I want to preface this real quick with the question: like, you sold the house to the people that you bought the horse from.
yeah, I
Or
bought the
sold
horse
their house.
and then I sold their house.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's all you have to do, people. Find
that
a
was an
horse.
investment well made.
Find a horse and collect that commission. Yeah. So tell us, you bought, so the house that we all went to and we all supported you at that broker open was amazing. You did an amazing job. Like that was seriously, I thought I was walking into like something that was professionally done.
Oh,
Like
that's so
literally,
nice.
like we're all like, this is nice. But the other thing that you did is like, when we come in there, the house is, super well done. So I'm like, okay, this is a great listing in general, but she's made it like this extremely nice place to go visit. So we're all like there for 3 hours.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a great time.
We're like 10 minutes in the house, 2 hours and 50 minutes drinking the booze and talking about random stuff.
Yeah, every kind of ranch water you can find I had there. But yeah, it was nice. We actually, so Samantha, another agent, on the agency here with me, we had a listing down the way. And after that sold, we were able to get a referral for this other listing. And when they reached out, they just started talking about, this is what we want to do. And of course, we've got this horse and we need to sell the horse. And, Samantha's like, her name is Ali. Like, this is, you've been talking about getting another horse. And so finally I went and checked the horse out, not even the property. I just wanted to see. And it was, love at first sight. So she's my BFF.
And you were like, so while I'm here,
your house is beautiful. Let's get this thing on the market.
did you guys ever talk about something?
Yeah. No, it was easy peasy, super nice couple. But just, I feel like that's, the organic part of real estate. If you just do it right, you're kind to people, you do what's right by people. Like I was truly interested in the horse more than I was interested in selling their property.
Yeah.
And they just feel that, and so then it allowed us the opportunity to do fun stuff, have a great broker's open, and then sell their house in 3 days. So
And now we're doing a grassroots campaign out there to try to get some more out of that same neighborhood. It's a really cool neighborhood. I really like that, even though it's a little bit of a hike for everybody to go do it, but the turnout was amazing.
Totally. And there's a Buc-ee's on the way. So over there.
Yeah. And you just closed on a house for yourself.
I did. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's a little bit sad, a little bit happy, the whole thing. But my dad was diagnosed with terminal cancer a few years ago, actually a couple of years ago. And at that time, I'm a daddy's girl, so love him to pieces. And it was super devastating for my family. Anyway, when we heard the news, I was like, I've got to spend as much time with my dad before he passes, because you just got to soak that in. So anyway, sold my house, moved in with my mom and dad. And then just 6 months later, my dad passed away. And thankfully, I have a husband who didn't mind living with mom and dad for that time being. I'm just super grateful for him. But for a while, we were just like, what are we going to do? I thought when my dad passed away that I would immediately leave, because you think, oh, yeah, dad passes away, move on. But no, like we all needed each other. My mom needed me. They'd been married for 53 years.
Holy moly.
Yeah. And so it was tough. Wow. And so every time we would look at a place, we would look in Frisco and Plano, and I would just think, I'm just too far. And, it's weird because a lot of people my age have not, lost their parents yet. And so it's something that people don't really realize, but once you lose them, it's so tough. And it's just, anyway, wanted to stay around mom.
No tears.
No tears. I'm not going to cry, even though I say that and then I always cry. But anyway, this neighbor across the street from my mom, they were looking to sell their house. And of course, I'm a real estate agent, so I just decided I would help them out.
Hello.
But I listed it on our little workplace thing as an investment opportunity. And then one day it just dawned on me, because I had prayed about it a lot. And I was like, man, I'm like, why am I not buying this house? Like, let's buy this house. And so thankfully, again, I've got a husband who's super supportive and likes his mother-in-law, thank God. And so we bought it. And so we're so excited. And literally, he's there right now, tearing down walls, he's having the best time.
Hands-on experience here.
Yeah, he and his dad have, what are they called? These sledgehammers? Oh, yeah, they're sledgehammering through the drywall right now. So, yeah, having a great time. We're excited.
Will this be your first, renovation or flip?
So my mom and dad actually renovated homes as I was growing up. So I got to be a part of a lot. My very first house I had when I was 19 years old.
Sounds like Trey may have known this already before that question. Did you know this,
No.
Trey?
Oh, no. Oh. Okay, well, there you go. But anyway, I've watched them flip a lot of houses. So yeah, this is going to be the first one though for us to do on our own, not without my dad's.
But y'all are going to live in it for some period of time, right?
We're going to live in it for a while. Yeah. And as long as we're going to be right across the street from my mom. So I keep saying we're like Khloe Kardashian and Kris Jenner in this situation. So I'm so excited because we're neighbors. But yeah, we're going to live there as long as we can. And then just depending on how life goes for mom and us, then we'll probably make that a rental and potentially flip mom's house down the line. But
are you living in there while you're renovating it?
So
we're
living in my mom's beautiful house while that one gets renovated. So it's so convenient.
Right across the street. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So Cam, you've flipped homes before. What's some advice you have for Ali?
Yeah, please.
Oh, goodness. Always just know that whatever your budget is, just go ahead and add in like an extra 15%.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's always unknown costs for sure.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't do that. I would screw the budget. We're just going to do what I want.
Yeah.
And that'd be a problem.
And it is a problem. Big time. You have to stick to that budget.
Okay.
And that's obviously one of the things that anybody struggles with, because once you dig into a lot of these houses, you're like, should I just do this too? We didn't talk about this, but we should just do it while they're here, kind of thing. And that's $5,000 and that's $6,000. And
Yeah.
It's always like that with, I think, because I've worked with a lot of flippers over the years, and the budget can be a good and a bad thing for a lot of these guys. And the bad part of it is like they do skip things that should have been done just to try to make their margins.
Yeah.
The good thing is if the house is done correctly with these flips, even though you did spend a little bit more money, that could be the difference between getting your price and not getting your price. Because I've walked through a ton of flips where I'm just like, man, they cut some corners in here. Yeah. And then the buyers see it too, and they're like, well, I'm not gonna offer on this one, or I'm going to offer less than what their asking price is for that reason.
You're so right.
So just, and I always look at it too in the way of if you have a budget that you're asking for whatever margin, and that margin is a large margin, and you're thinking I'm going to get this money. But the greed aspect of it should take second tier to what you really should be doing as far as finishing that house outright. And especially in a market like this.
Yeah.
Anybody who bought those flips in the last 12 months and is now turning them around right now is seeing some reality. And I'm seeing them all over the place too. Literally supposed to go show like 3 of them this afternoon that are, I can just tell on the pictures they used one marble throughout the entire house. You know, it's like, it's on the fireplace, it's in the kitchen, it's in the bathrooms, it's on the floor. And you're like, yeah, exactly. So you're like, okay, well, obviously that was a, you know, floor and decor special $1 a tile kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of stuff where I think the flips really do need to be looked at as like, you want to get out of this one quickly and get some money versus stick with it for a while and continue to drop the price until, you know, you're just out of money and out of funds and you just got to get rid of it, because I've seen it both ways.
Have you done a flip ever, like strictly for investment purposes?
I wouldn't say that we really bought one to flip, but we had a bunch of rentals that we had, and then before putting them on the market, you put the money back into it to like new floors, new cabinets, new countertops, new bathrooms, all that stuff to get the max out of it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, renters will wear houses out very, very quickly. And one of them, we had kind of a worst case scenario. Like the last one that we sold, which was about a year and a half ago, was our first house we ever bought, $168,000 in Allen, built by Syntex Homes. And it was new construction, 2,200 square feet roughly. And, you know, back then, it's like you got laminate countertops, you've got white appliances, you've got glue down wood floors if you upgraded them, or you got those cheap tile in the kitchens and all that stuff. So we never did anything to it except for just repairs. So like the last tenant that we had in there, and keep in mind, we owned the house for 15 years, 16 years, maybe longer. I mean, it was probably close to 20 years because I think we bought it in 2004, 2003. So close to 20 years. But the last tenant that was in there, because we knew that this is going to be the last time we were going to rent it out, we told them 12 months and that's it. So right around the 10th month, we said, okay, just reminder, it's 60 days and you're out. And it was, you know, they didn't want to leave because obviously we had a decent rent for them and it was a nice neighborhood, but the market conditions had changed like even more. So like they're going out and seeing the stuff that was out there for similar prices and they're like, this is trash. And we're like, well, I'm sorry, you knew up front this is going to be a 12-month situation. So we walk into it when they moved out, and the house was a wreck. The kind of wreck where you walk into it and go, hoarders were living here, and everything needs to be done. They had burned wood in the fireplace. There was black stuff all up the ceiling above the fireplace. The carpets were in horrible shape. The kitchen was trashed. Bathrooms were trashed. Paint holes in the sheetrock. Backyard was trashed. I mean,
they were mad, or they were just like messy people?
I think they were messy people, but I also knew that they made no effort when they moved out to do anything.
Ew.
So, yeah, I mean, that situation, you can technically go after them and say like, I'm going for damages against you, but we were like, screw it, we're not going to do it, you know, because they had 4 kids living in the house. They were struggling as far as finding something else for similar rent. I just know that karma sucks in those situations for me to go back and say, now I'm going to try to take the little money that you have. So
if you put a Kool-Aid man my wall, I'm coming after you.
Well, the only reason that we really did not make a big deal out of it is because we were going to sell it, and we knew that we'd have to put money into it because we hadn't done anything in 20 years.
Yeah.
That was cosmetic. You know, we took care of repairs, but it was a good $80,000 to get that place back into shape. Wow. Yeah. But we did make a good, like, multiple offers over list price kind of thing.
2022. Market is still.
Yeah, it's still good.
Perfect.
Still good.
See, I would be a great landlord. My husband would be a terrible landlord. Actually, a neighbor, this 2 or 3 years ago, was being evicted, and I saw him in the middle of the night, like, taking the refrigerator and, like, other stuff. And I thought he was just moving out. He poured cement down all of the drains. And in that moment,
you want to
I
get
said,
yourself in a lawsuit, go ahead and do that.
I can never be a landlord for that reason right there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, I can promise you that's a terrible, like, nobody's getting anybody back on that. You're going to get in a lawsuit for that because that's a $20,000 or $30,000 fix to go deal with that plumbing.
Oh, yeah.
You have to tear it all out and redo it. There's no way to fix it. So don't ever do that. Anybody who's listening.
Don't pour cement down the drain.
Advice.
Noted.
Just don't do it. Cameron, you're married.
I am, yeah.
Maybe you'll be on that 53-year marriage with Catherine.
I would love.
You would hope so.
But yeah,
I mean,
that's the
53
plan,
years.
Stan.
A lot happens in a time frame.
my blood pressure.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard. You have a little daughter named Collins.
I do. Yeah.
It's a sweet little thing. My daughter's 7. They played a lot when y'all came out to visit us at the ranch, and cute, amazing little family. I know that you guys are enjoying life right now.
We are. Yeah. In an apartment right now.
Yeah. So you sold your house.
We did. So we actually had a house right next to my mom
Oh, neato.
as well. So we kind of were in the same position you were at, and it was amazing, but it was time for us to sell. So we sold earlier this year as well, and we're currently building a new house out in Prosper right now, really close to the PGA. But we're in
What realtor did you use?
no.
That's the one benefit of buying and selling through flips. And
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm a realtor.
Literally waited until we were the community we were at, it was a new construction community. I think they started building in like 2018. The week before we listed our house, there was still new construction homes for sale. I waited till all of them were completely sold, and as soon as that happened, we put ours up for sale. So we were the only home for sale, including my mom's house, which was right next door. We were the only houses for sale in that neighborhood.
now you've sold
Lighted up with multiples. Yeah, it was a great deal.
You've sold like 3 more since then. You got one coming up that's actually about to list.
Yeah, just
I may
from where my mom's house was.
I may get my buyers to buy it off market with you.
Collaboration.
Yeah.
The agency. So.
Yeah, but they want a 50,000 reduction before it even hits the market.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if that'll happen, but
Cash 2-week close.
that's nice.
So how is going from a house to an apartment?
Oh, dude, that's got to be tough.
Especially because Collins has only known having a house since she had her own playroom and a backyard and a neighborhood where she could go out for walks, and we have playgrounds and everything. It's been okay. It's about 1,500 square feet. It's a 3 bedrooms, so it's not like a small place. It's fine. We have our own garage. Oh my God, garages. We have our own garages. So it's like we're fine, and we have a pool right down there, and it's a very quiet apartment complex. So it's been great, but I know she needs a backyard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. What is she for?
She's about to be 4 in June.
Yeah.
Oh,
And she asked to blow up her bounce house every single weekend. I'm like, we can't. We can't blow up your bounce house in the parking lot.
Oh, you guys have one of those like miniature bounce houses with like, the balls and stuff in them? Yeah.
Yeah, you can get it on Amazon for a pretty good price. But she loves that. And she would just blow up the bounce house, and she would have it running basically all weekend. She would go in and out, and she just she loved life. But now, we can't do that. We'd have everybody.
How dare y'all put her in this situation, Cameron?
unbelievable.
But it hasn't been as bad as I thought, but we're definitely ready for the house to be completed for sure. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you, Joe. I've asked Damon this before. What I asked Damon was, how do you find like a work-life balance? And Damon said, I don't. Real estate.
Yeah.
So how do you two find a work-life balance and set those boundaries?
It's hard, and I've had to have a lot of conversations with Catherine, my wife. She's extremely supportive. I think when we get to a point, the goal is to actually bring her over, and we're going to work together.
So that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, she's extremely.
Well, she'll have to go through the same interviewing process, though.
Same hazing.
But she's fantastic at what she does. She's been a chief of staff of at her company that she's at, so she's fantastic at running a company, running businesses, and handling a lot of the day-to-day stuff, and I think she'd be great for me and my business. So she's extremely supportive, so that's been great. But there's times when we go to like dinner or go on a date, and I'm pulling out my phone because I just get a text message, and I can't wait to see, like, is this a client? Do you need to respond right away?
Yeah.
Is this Damon? No, just get back. It's like,
Cameron, are you out to dinner with Catherine? I want to chat right now.
and she's like, sometimes at one point, like, hey, maybe it's not as fun to go to dinner with you. We need to bring in other people because you're always looking at your phone. So like, I've had to make a point to try and put the phone down, especially when we're having like some of those special times and dinners.
Hey, as long as you're not just staring at social media at dinner.
No, I don't do that.
That's the problem I see so much, and it's really starting to like affect like my older sons, because now they feel like they go out to dinner with us and they're just like on their phones the whole time. We're like, okay, phones down, or lose it for the night. What's it gonna be?
Remember back in the day, like if you were having dinner with your family and someone called during dinner time, that we didn't answer the phone, like called the landline.
Yeah.
It was always the thing. Like
Yeah.
my mom would say, don't call her during dinner time. They're probably sitting down at dinner, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So that's so lost, obviously, with the cell phones and stuff today. But that's with me and my husband. We make a point, like we've had to have, it's communication is key, right, to work-life balance, but and also forgiveness and just having some grace in certain times when you do have to take a phone call, but also just having the boundary of like, he's in sales as well. So when he gets home, because he has late appointments, then both phones are down. Like past 8 p.m., I don't really think there's anything, you learn after being in real estate for a little while, there's really no emergencies in real estate. You feel that way when you first get into it, but they're really, everything that you could handle at 8 p.m. can be handled at 8 a.m. the next morning. So just having that boundary of like, phones are down, we're home, we're going to spend time with each other and be intentional. I think that's super important.
I'll tell you the one caveat to that, which used to drive me crazy, is that we used to have the deadline as midnight for amendments, option periods ending. And supposed to 5. So when it changed to 5, you're like, okay, thank God. I was literally up so many nights at 11:50, and we're still negotiating at the last minute trying to get this stuff done. And like one of the other parties was not giving in. And I'm like, okay, well, I literally had at one point, I had my laptop sitting on the bed, and it's 11:58. And I'm on the phone with my client on speaker, and I'm saying, we got 2 minutes to hit this termination. And I'm like literally counting down the seconds because they're still like chatting in the background. And I'm like, guys, I'm telling you, if I don't hit send on this termination, you are losing this $30,000 earnest money. What's it going to be?
Yeah.
I'm literally like, now or never, 5, 4. And they're like, we're going to do it. And I'm like, thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, good.
That's ridiculous.
Timeline's good.
The 5 p.m. has been like a savior.
Yeah, when did that change?
It wasn't that long ago. I think 3 years ago. Wow. I mean, it wasn't that long ago.
Oh,
I mean, it was like that forever. No, seriously.
Long before us.
The 5 p.m. aspect of it was a life changer. I mean, there was always something going on late at night, and you're just like, I'm sorry, I have to do this.
I think that's like the other side of things is like, as a teacher,
Josh is staring at us out of the corner of his eyes. He's like, you're way past time, man. Your wife's going to be mad.
He's laughing. I was just going to say, like, as a teacher, when you want kids to turn their homework in, you always tell them to turn it in like a day before, 2 days before. And same is true with clients, right? We love them, but I also am always like, okay, we got to do this in this certain amount of time. And the time is always way earlier than what I need. That way, we're not rushing at the last minute.
Yeah.
But I learned that the hard way too,
because you can't dictate what these people are thinking and what they're talking about behind the scenes and how long it takes them to get back to you sometimes.
Totally.
Oh, this is gonna be a long one.
Before real estate, you were a teacher, right? Or a principal?
I was an assistant principal, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I don't even know that about you, Ali.
How did that?
I know so little.
Nothing about
I know
me.
so little about Ali. My gosh. You.
So how did all that change?
No, wait. First of all, I can now envision it. Ali walking down the hallway at the lockers, doing the keychain with the keys on it.
Totally, with my walkie-talkie.
Staring inside the classrooms like this.
I actually, yes, I did do that. It was interesting. I'm so glad that I had that experience. I think it did make me a better realtor. But I have a lot of patience. But it was time. I had a lot of life changes happening. And so I'm so glad I'm not in education anymore for a number of reasons. But being an assistant principal was a trip for sure.
I would say you were probably one of the youngest assistant principals anybody's ever seen before, because every principal at my school was in her 60s or 70s. And it was always, like them sitting in the classroom in the back, and like the teachers tell us they're coming in here just to observe. So everybody's on their best behavior for that hour.
Yeah. It was interesting. Before that, I was a dance teacher though. So that was a little bit different. I got to be like a drill team director, taught dance. And
That's
stuff.
awesome.
So it was fun.
Cam, were you ever a bouncer at Bottle Blonde?
No.
I swear, before I started here, I was like, I'm pretty sure that man was a bouncer at Bottle Blonde before.
Yeah, he may have. It was what do they call it when you do it at night? Moonlight. You were moonlighting as a bouncer. Do not. Don't tell us. Tell us the truth, Cam.
Stature and...
No, not me. Wrong guy.
But you were a personal trainer.
I was.
Yeah.
I had my own in-home personal training business for 6-7 years, something like that.
Had to walk in with a mask on and.
Oh gosh, yeah, that was awful.
Yeah,
it was awful. I loved it though. I loved my clients. I basically had the same clients for like, the whole time I was doing it.
Yeah.
I built some awesome relationships, which has been great for real estate. But yeah, it was just, like I said, the hours weren't working, especially when we had Collins. It's like, I'm not going to miss the mornings and the nights.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was going to be missing. I was kind of prime time in the middle of the day. So it's like, needed to be something in, was quite honestly, COVID was a blessing for our family.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
The personal training life, my brother did it for a long time, and he was coming right out of college, and I think he was in his maybe 24, 25 range. I hated the schedule that he used to do, because there was always like several hours of like waiting around. You know, it was like, what do I do? Do I go home for an hour? Do I stay at the gym for an hour?
See, I was in home, so I was on the road all day. So I would get caught where I'm like, I'm all the way at Las Colinas. My next session isn't for 3 hours in Preston Hollow. Do I go all the way to my home in, North Dallas or up in Rams? It's like, it was really strange. It was hard to work.
It's hard.
And you're completely on everyone else's schedule. You have to work around everyone else's schedule. But like I said, I don't regret it. I've made some fantastic relationships, and I'm happy I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
The one thing about like a lot of agents talking back about coming into the office and working, one thing that a lot of agents I don't think realize is like, if you do have a landing zone that you can just now go and sit and do some stuff in between. You know, I used to do a lot of working from home when we were at other brokerages previously, but because, you go into the office and it's just you. Typically, it's like you're not really doing anything. You're just sitting there. So I'm like, I can do this at home. But now it's like I'll run out 3 times in a day and come back and just continue to work and be done. And then it's time to get the kids from school and go.
Well, you picked a good location too. We're like smack dab in the middle of Dallas.
That's right.
I love it.
Too, because I'm North Dallas. So I'm Plano right now, soon to be Prosper. So if I'm having showings up there, okay, I'll work from home that day. But if I'm having showings down here, or I just want to come into the office, I have a place, on both sides.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to wrap. This is Damon Williamson with the Agency Dallas, and this is the Red Mic. And today I have Cameron Ruschhaupt, Trey Stewart, and Ali Vollmer. Thank you, everybody, for coming.